So this might be one of the most famous pictures from that situation on Capitol Hill on January 6th. That is Richard Barnett with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Now, looks like he might have been having a good time at that time, but ever since he's been in a lot of trouble. He was identified through facial recognition technology, and lots of folks knew who he was. He turned himself in to authorities on January 8th. And he was just released, I believe, yesterday. He has now secured pretrial release, but he's facing a slew of charges. Here are some of them. Everything from obstruction of an official proceeding, disorderly and disruptive conduct. It goes on and on and on. Next slide. You can see this. This is a federal case, and he's facing time in prison, potentially. But Richard Barnett joins us right now. Mr. Barnett, welcome to Newsmax, along with your lawyers, Joseph McBride and Stephen Metcalf. Welcome to you all. And first to you, Mr. Barnett, you've been in prison jail for almost 4 months. How does it feel to be out?
Oh, it's fantastic. I've got to tell you, I'm reunited with my wife. I'm anxious to get home and see my daughter and my pets. And it was a tough road to hoe, but I made it through, and I'm really excited to be out.
Can I get your thoughts on, you've been in custody almost 4 months. There's no evidence of you specifically hurting anybody or breaking anything. There are suspected murderers who have secured bail before sooner than 4 months. And you've been in custody all this time.
Correct. My thoughts. First off, thank you for having me on.
Bet.
It's out there. I threw a hissy fit at one of my court hearings. It was tough. I'm watching these other people go out. Not only did I not get violent, I did what I could to help officers at certain points. And, it's good to be out now. I don't have a lot to say about it. That will be dealt with. I haven't been to trial yet, but yeah, I felt like it was unfair.
Do you have any regrets?
Greg, that's not something that we're going to get into right now as far as regrets, especially with Richard's state of mind.
No regrets. You're not going to say anything at this point about that. I understand you got a legal case. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I have that. So I'll ask your lawyer then, and we'll go back to the picture. Some people noticed an instrument, a device of some kind on Mr. Barnett's belt. Some say it's a stun gun. I hear others say it's a cane. What was it, and what was Mr. Barnett's intention with that?
So, Greg, once again, good to be on. As discussed in our papers at length, the device was a multi-use tool, a walking stick, stun gun / flashlight. It had 3 purposes. Mr. Barnett brought it to use primarily as a walking stick. There was a concern, admittedly, about Antifa protesters and possible violent acts. He did not see any of those things upon his arrival the day before at the Capitol. And because of that, and because he just needed a walking stick for the next day, he went to the January 6th event with the stun gun portion of the device disabled. We stand by that comment. We have, stood by that since the beginning. We will stand by that through the end. The evidence will support our statement, and we hope to bring that out at trial.
Now, Mr. Barnett, I saw a picture of you holding up a letter that I think was addressed to Nancy Pelosi. You spoke about that letter on January 6th. A camera tracked you down, and here's what you had to say.
How'd you get it?
I didn't steal it. I bled on it because they were macing me and I couldn't see. And so I figured, well, I'm in her office. I got blood in her office. I'll put a quarter on her desk, even though she ain't worth it.
I understand you did not open that letter and you turned it in when you turned yourself in on January 8th. What's up with the blood? You mentioned blood from yourself. What happened to you?
Yeah, this is okay. I want people to know. When I was at the Capitol, I didn't go there to storm the Capitol. We were walking back from the Washington Monument and from the peaceful protest. And I was with a couple of gentlemen that I knew. And we were going back to our cars to go home. And we got separated because of the melee that was going on. I walked to the top of those steps because we had a code that if we got lost, wave the flag and we'll find each other.
Just see that you fell. Good.
At that point, I was a crowd rushed me. I was knocked into the building. I fell and was trampled, and I cut myself.
And we're going to leave that there for obvious reasons. Stephen?
Okay, fair enough. Gentlemen, we have a few more things to get through, and I appreciate that you have both of your attorneys with you. You left a note, Richard, for Nancy Pelosi, and we actually have it, and I know that this has been submitted and reviewed by the authorities. Hey, Nancy, Big O was here, and I know, Richard, that's your nickname. And then it's signed, or Big O was here. There are two interpretations of the next word. It could be biatch or B-I-T-C-H. Which is it, and what is the significance of that, please?
This comment and the interpretation of this has been interpreted completely differently than how it should and how our papers laid it out. The government used this as an exhibit and as their first focal point in trying to show that Richard was dangerous. We simply pointed out, as Joseph and I do in our cases, we pointed out that there was a misrepresentation on how that was specifically quoted. And we are going to continue to do that throughout the entire course of this case, no matter how minute that point is.
Okay, and I understand. The government said, I'm just going to say the word bitch, that he wrote bitch, B-I-T-C-H, and he actually wrote biatch, which would be less inflammatory, perhaps a little bit nicer, more slang, not as vulgar. And that's interesting. Some people are laughing at it. I think it's a valid point. I want to go to you, sir. Richard, if I can get your response. I'm sorry, if I want your response on this, and if your lawyers want to jump in. But as you know, Donald Trump issued several pardons to people, many pardons, actually. Did you ask for a pardon, and did you feel that you were entitled to a pardon?
Okay. First off, I have all the respect in the world for President Trump. I think he's a great man. I believe in him. At this point, I don't have any ill will towards him. I did not ask for a pardon. However, I do have questions. So, President Trump, if you get a chance, I'd love to talk to you. Give my attorneys a call.
Now, some people who are in your boat, and there are still people in jail right now who haven't been released, who were arrested even before you, who are still in custody. Do you think Donald Trump, some of them are saying Donald Trump told us to go to the Capitol, that he told us to do this. Are you saying that?
Greg, at this time, the statements have been clear and on camera. Donald Trump did say, hey, let's go down to the Capitol. We'll come with you. And no, we are not saying, and it's not our position, that Donald Trump said invade the Capitol or do any harmful things or to the Capitol or the property. So that is not a position that we're going to be setting forth.
By the way, I just want to make clear, Mr. Barnett, I have a lot of sympathy for you and what you've gone through. I don't think you should have been kept in custody. You may have made some mistakes that day, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's ridiculous that you were in custody for as long as you were. And I'm glad to see you're finally out. You're going to go back to Arkansas now. What's left? Is it true that your employer terminated you, fired you?
I'm an independent contractor. I did have a contract with them. That contract has been terminated, but I also have another business I'm very passionate about, so I'm doing fine. I'm very excited about getting home and seeing my daughter, my pets. Look, I'm an everyday guy just like the rest of you. You know, there's been a lot said about me here by people that don't even know me making accusations. But I'm excited to go home. We'll hopefully continue this conversation later. And Greg, thank you so much for giving me a chance to be on your program and talk to you.
You bet, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Take care now, and I'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.